Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's November 8th, 2023. We got a calm day started off this morning here. Just above freezing, 33 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're supposed to get some rain and get warmed up later on this evening. Rain mixed snows this evening. And potentially next week will be in the 40s. Low 40s to mid 40s. So I have a little more time to get some things done. We have some firewood from 2 years ago that I have stacked in the sugar shack, in the woodshed part of the sugar shack, which we'll end up putting in some of the IBC totes. Now, we used to keep these 275 gallon IBC totes out under the solar panels for additional water storage for the food forest and all. We don't need those now. And I have used the IBC totes with the bladders in them over there to grow seedling trees, start seedling trees as well. And that's working out okay so far. We have a lot more to refine, and I've got future plans for that, so I'll go over that in another video in the future. And so one of the things I'm going to do now, well, I should say that last year I cut a lot of logs, and they're stacked over in the forested area over here where I did all of the clearing last year, and at base camp over on the new property there's a bunch of ash trees that I have the logs sitting over there. And so those are 1 year old. The pile that's over here on the new property, the big pile, I mixed in quite a few trees that I took down this season from up there by pond 8. So I don't want to cut those up this year. But I'm hoping maybe next week I'll get over to the new property and cut up some wood. So I'll take the Wolf Ridge wood splitter over there, a couple of the chainsaws and Elon, and cut up the firewood over in that area. But in preparation for that, and to get some of the firewood that's older, kind of punky looking firewood right now, use that up, I'm going to get these IBC totes. Now probably many people have seen this using these totes. These are 275 gallon totes. I removed the bladders, they're out in the forest. I'll be using those in other projects. But these are really good for moving firewood around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Sawzall or reciprocating saw, my DeWalt one, and I'm just going to cut out a panel right over here, this size, with a reciprocating saw. So that makes it a nice window for someone to reach in and stack the wood or get the wood out from either side. I think what I will do is make a door for these in the future, so that I can transport it more easily when they're completely loaded. But we can, with the forks on either the Hulk over there or on Mini-Me. The Mini-Me can't handle a full one of this. With the firewood about 2/3 full, Mini-Me can handle it. That's a Kubota B2601 right in there. And this is the reciprocating saw I'm going to use, or Sawzall. So this is my DeWalt saw right here. I'm using a Milwaukee blade, and this happens to be the one that I use for. It happens to be the same blade that I use for dividing grasses and all. Using a Sawzall or a reciprocating saw just cuts through the root masses of so many plants that you want to divide. Makes it quick and easy work to propagate more plants like that. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'm just going to use the saw, knock these down, take the bladder liners out to protect the bladders. Take those out. I've already taken them out of these two. And get these set, and then bring them to their appropriate locations so that we can get them loaded, so they're at least in the right places. So that's the plan. Here we go. Well, it only took a couple of minutes with the Sawzall just to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 small bars here to get it in. And that allows us to have a nice, easy access into here to stack the wood. And so that should work pretty well. I've thought about using a couple of thin rods to put in these 2 holes here and put the pieces back on in case I want to stack it and all. But these will probably stack to just fine as long as the wood isn't above the top brace, because the bases fit just down inside of this just a little bit when you're stacking them. So I'm going to go ahead and move these on out. We don't need them here. Get them to the right locations and all. And so not everybody burns firewood. We don't burn a lot because of our passive solar home, but it's getting cold enough. It's December before too long, so we'll start burning some firewood before too long here. And it's really nice to have the firewood. These systems work really well. I'd love to be able to find really good casters and just build hard pallets that can go underneath this with 4 good casters so I can move these around. If anybody knows of any good sites that have done that and have accomplished it, where it's good heavy-duty casters where these things can be moved around, because these are going to be quite heavy inside of these totes. And I'm in Oswego, New York, and if anybody knows where you can get them dirt cheap, the cheapest prices I've seen are $50 and $60, but they didn't look in that great a shape. But I'd love to get some more because we have a lot of firewood in the future, and I would love to be able to just buy these cheap or get them free, create the windows in them, stack the firewood, and sell the firewood, load it onto people's trucks and all, so I don't have to haul it. That would be awesome. So leave a comment where you get these and what you're paying for them if you're doing this, and how you cover them, if you do cover them. Any thoughts at all I think are fine. I know we can cut the bladders, but I want to use the bladders. I'll probably just use some metal roofing to put over the surface of it, because I've got some that I took down from the other property, and I think that'll be fine, just for curing it and keeping it in good shape for years, so that it isn't in contact with the ground, and saprophytic organisms break down the wood. So these totes end up providing a couple of different functions. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.